Hey guys, this is Corey. I'm a technician with Volatile Solutions. I'm bringing you a computer tutorial today. Specifically, we're going to be dealing with removing Internet Explorer. Before we get into that, I just want to go over a couple benefits of Internet Explorer. It is full featured, it is convenient, it does come with every Windows computer. There is a little bit of a downside as well. It is notoriously slow, and because it's on many machines, it is commonly exploited, so something to keep in mind. I've got a 6-step process here for you. What we're going to be doing is selecting a new browser to replace Internet Explorer. We'll be downloading the installer for that browser. We'll be installing that browser. We'll be importing the settings, and then we'll be removing Internet Explorer. Now you notice I said removing, not uninstalling. Internet Explorer is not a regular application and it cannot be uninstalled like most programs. It's actually a Windows feature, which is why I've included step 6, the reboot. We'll actually have to reboot to remove that. So we're going to go ahead and start out by selecting a new browser. There's a lot of great options that we could go with. For the sake of the tutorial, we're going to be using Firefox. Firefox is pretty rich and full featured. It's well supported, ported over from Linux. It's pretty secure. So that's what we're going to go with for the tutorial. If you want to use a different browser, the steps are the same, and you could go with something different, like for example Chrome maybe. But for right now, we'll do Firefox. We're going to start by downloading the installer, step 2. So we'll go to Google. I ran a search for download Firefox for Windows, and you see down here I have a link, download Firefox free web browser. If I check the domain name, I see it's mozilla.org. I know that's a good website. I know I'm safe to download information from there. So I'm going to go ahead and click that link. Now this is going to start the download here after I follow through with the following link. It'll start the download to my web browser. If you're still using Internet Explorer, which you probably are, you'll see an icon up in the top right corner with an arrow pointing down to show you it's downloading. And when it comes time to run the setup file, you just click that arrow. Much like here, I click this arrow, hit open, and now the executable for Firefox is open. So right away you should notice the publisher, Mozilla Corporation. It's signed. It's a good, reliable app. Always ask before opening this file type. That's always a good idea. Everything looks great. Checks out. I see it's coming off my computer from my download folder. It's signed, so let's run it. This begins the extraction. We've got to get all the information extracted so we can have everything ready to be written to the drive and do the installation. So that happens automatically. I just went ahead and gave permission for administrative level. And now we come to Firefox's setup wizard. You can read through that if you like, and then go ahead and jump over to the next screen. You get two options, standard or custom. Custom will allow you to pick some individual options. If you are interested in using custom, then you probably already know how to do this. So for the sake of this installation, we're going to go with standard. As a side note, standard is good for probably 90% of installs, so it'll probably be your preferred option anyway. So let's go ahead and confirm that. Now it says use Firefox as my default web browser. You do want to have that checked. After we remove Internet Explorer, there could potentially be no other browser, so you would want Firefox as your default. So now we go ahead and hit the install, but before we do that, I'm going to uncheck this because I already actually have a different browser I use. Then we'll go ahead and do the installation, and everything's getting all squared up and written down and installed, and boom, done. So let's go ahead and launch Firefox now by clicking the Finish button. Firefox comes up, and it's letting me know that it's not my default browser because I didn't choose that option. If this comes up for you, you're going to want to hit use Firefox as default. I'm going to pass on that because I already have a different default browser. Now at this point you'll also get questions from Firefox asking about if you'd like to import your bookmarks and such, which I strongly recommend you do. You see here on my installation, bookmarks have already been imported. Firefox will ask you if you want to import them from Internet Explorer or any other browser that you may have on your computer. You're definitely going to want to import those if you have information in there. Alright, so now that brings us to the fifth step, removing Internet Explorer itself. We already have another browser, it's on the computer, it's configured, it's ready to go. So if we need to access the internet without Internet Explorer, we can at this point. So let's go ahead and remove Internet Explorer. We're going to want to start out by accessing the control panel. If you don't have a link for the control panel on the side, you can just go ahead and type it in, control panel, and it'll pop up, and then we'll open the control panel. Now we're going to click the uninstall a program, but like I mentioned to you, you can't actually uninstall it that way. If you notice on the left, it says turn Windows features on or off. Let's select that option. It's going to get together a list of all of the Windows features. Now, there's lots of great adjustments you can make here, but I recommend that you do not adjust anything unless you know specifically what you're doing. Some of these are not a big deal, like if you disable print services and you don't have a printer, it wouldn't matter. Other things could possibly affect you. So let's just stick to the task at hand. You see Internet Explorer 8. We will remove that check. Now, the computer wants us to know that Internet Explorer is being relied upon for, different purposes. So it wants to know if we want to continue. Now, since we've already installed a different browser and set it as a default, we know we're not going to have any issues accessing the internet, so we can go ahead and say yes. Now we hit OK. It's going to go ahead and get everything organized, put together, get ready to remove that feature. It may take a minute or two. After everything's organized, we can go ahead and move on to the sixth step, which is the reboot. Something to notice on the reboot, as your computer is shutting down, it's going to tell you it's configuring Windows features. It usually does not take very long. And as it's coming back up from the reboot, it'll tell you it's configuring Windows features. Now, I can't show you that, obviously, because I'm recording my screen, and if I shut down my computer, we'd have no conversation. But something to keep in mind that will happen. At this point, you go ahead and you hit restart now, and I'm going to hit restart later because I want to continue talking with you. But at this point, you would hit restart now, and then it would go ahead and reboot. And when the computer comes back up online, Internet Explorer will have been removed, the feature disabled, and Mozilla Firefox, or whichever browser you chose, is going to be the default web browser with all your bookmarks imported. So there you go. Now you have it. We have removed Internet Explorer. Just to go over the process one more time, you just select your new browser. Firefox is good for features. Chrome's good for speed. They're both excellent. Download the installer. Install the browser. Import whatever settings you want. Then you jump over to your control panel. Uninstall a program. Grab the Windows features, turn the feature off. As you know, there'll be a reboot, and then when everything comes back up online, Internet Explorer has been removed. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I hope it'll make your system a little bit more secure and a little bit speedier. If you did enjoy this tutorial, then I hope that you will subscribe to our YouTube page. If you have time, if you could drop by the Facebook at facebook.com/volatile solutions and give us a like, that would be excellent as well. If you have any questions, if you have anything you'd like to learn about, you can leave in the comments, and I may potentially make videos in response to requests. If you need computer help or service above and beyond what's in these videos, then you can, of course, contact me via Volatile Solutions, and I'll be happy to help you out with that as well. So thanks very much for following along. I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and have a great day.